Hello everybody, it's Ocelot, and welcome to part 2 of our Greatsword guide. If you missed part 1, you can click the link on the top right, or you can click the link in the description. So we just finished killing the Draconic tree Sentinel. We're going to pick up some upgrade material on these two spots. The first spot, we'll need to bait a Rune Bear that's nearby. So just follow my route. We're going to bait the Rune Bear, and he's going to break the breakable statue. And we're going to be picking up smithing stone 6s. So once you pick those up, let's go to the second mark we made. It's going to be an Everjail that has a falling star beast. Now it kind of beats me up. You have access to Torrent, so if you need to use Torrent for the fight, go ahead and do so. But mainly, you want to watch out for his charge attacks and his tail swipes, that jump attack, and he'll also do a head swipe. So now we have 5 more smithing stone 6s. Next, we're going to Caelid. We're going to the Celia Crystal Tunnel. There's going to be another falling star beast in here. This one has a little less health. This one will be dropping us 5 smithing stone 7s. Next, we're going to Fort Ferrith, where we killed the sleeping dragon. Around this mark, there's going to be a skull. On top of the skull, there's going to be 2 smithing 7s, a stone sword key, and 1 smithing 8. Next, let's head over to Smithing Master Iji. We're going to upgrade our weapon to plus 20. Let's go ahead and warp to the Capital Rampart Site of Grace. Head into the capital. Get to the point where you get to the avatar. Go ahead and take him out. It's going to drop a golden rune that's worth 50,000 runes. Now I forgot to record the gameplay, but down the next set of stairs, and there's a drop off to the left. There's going to be a well you want to go down, so you can go to the underground. Go all the way to the bottom, equip your sleep pots, and we're going to put these lobsters asleep. There's going to be some smithing 7s we're going to be picking up. There's one batch of smithing 7s here. There's 2. There's going to be another lobster coming up. So get your sleep pots ready to put it to sleep. Once you put this lobster to sleep, we're going to be picking up 2 more smithing 7s and Moog Shackle for later on. Next, let's warp back to the Avenue Balcony site of Grace. Run through until before you get to the Gargoyle and do this drop off. We're going to be going inside of the Round Table Hold, the Lane-Dell version. These items aren't available after you defeat Maliketh, so pick up everything that you can. We're interested in the Golden Rune. Also, we're going to defeat an enemy just outside of this area. This soldier holds the gravel seal. I want to be using this later on in the playthrough. So go ahead and defeat this enemy, get the gravelstone seal, warp back to the West Capital Rampart site of Grace, and it's time to fight Goldfrey. I found that the rolling R1s, which is a rolling light attack, is going to be sufficient on taking out Goldfrey. So just dodge his attacks, do an R1 after your dodge, jump when you need to, and just keep on doing your rolling light attacks. When his HP is low, you want to get ready to consume the Gold Pickle Foulfoot to get the extra 30% in rune acquisition. Now we have an extra talisman slot. You can go with the Dagger Talisman or the Gold Scarab. For now, I went with the Gold Scarab. It's only going to be for the next couple of bosses. Let's go ahead and level up. We're going to put 4 points into Vigor. We're also going to change our flask out. We're going to want the Faith tier with the Stone Barb Crack tier. So switch out the Strength tier for the Stone Barb Crack tier. Put on all your buffs except for the Physic. We're going to do that right before we start attacking. And you can equip Morgott's Shackle, which we got from Patch's Bell Bearing. So with Morgott taken care of, go ahead and proceed until the site of Grace pops up. Rest at the site of Grace. You're going to talk to Melina. She's going to give you the rolled medallion. Let's go ahead and level up first. We're going to put 1 point into Vigor, 3 points into Strength. So let's go ahead and proceed until we get to the Forbidden Lands. We're going to be going around this area. We're going to activate Morgott's Great Rune at the Divine Tower. But first, head down the lift. We're going to activate the Grace. And let's go ahead and switch out our Physic while we're here as well. So we're going to want the Strength Knot Crystal tier and the Faith Knot Crystal tier in the Physic. Go back up the lift. We want to fight the Twin Fell Omens before we have access to Morgott's Great Rune. Once you take out the twins, head up the Divine Tower. Restore Morgott's Great Rune. There's a site of grace nearby. Rest there. And you want to equip Morgott's Great Rune. Now go through your inventory. And you're going to want to consume a Rune Arc. This will give you 30% extra health while Morgott's Great Rune is equipped. And you have the Rune Arc active. Let's head back to the Forbidden Land site of grace. Head to the rolled lift. Go up the lift. We're now in the mountaintops. We're going to be going to these marks. Picking up a golden seed. Some smithing stone 7s. And a site of grace. We're going to ask this sleeping enemy to help us out. The smithing stone 7s are in a breakable statue. Just bait the enemy towards the breakable statue. He'll eventually swing at you. Make sure you're behind it. Pick up the smithing stone 7s. Grab the next grace. We're going to need it later on. Head east. And we're going to fight Borealis. So Borealis has various different breath attacks. There's that one that shoots straight at you. That can either track you or just sweep left to right. They also have a breath attack that the dragon will fly up in the air and shoot straight down. And there's also a breath attack where if you stay underneath too long, it'll be a shout. When you get a stance break, quickly go to Borealis' head. Get an attack in. You can do a charged heavy, a light R1, or you can do the Ash of War. You get the critical right afterwards as well for big damage. So with Borealis down, let's level up. 2 points in the Vigor, 2 points in the Strength. Continue south, and there's going to be an Evergel. We're coming here for the runes, and for this enemy's drip. Eventually, we're going to use the helmet and the armor later on in the guide. We now have the armor. Let's go ahead and level up. We're putting 2 points into strength. Now we're going to make 2 marks on the map. This first mark is going to have a ancient dragon smithing stone. Second mark is going to have a sacred tear. So go to both marks, and then we're going after Fire Giant. So for Fire Giant Phase 1, try to stay near his left foot. You want to keep the pressure on it. You want to roll around. Just follow him. I usually follow him on Torrent. If he tries to stomp, all you got to do is dodge. Not much to Phase 1 though. You should take him out pretty quickly. get a chance before the phase change, you put your buffs on. I recommend at least Hellish Abriri, and then Golden Bow if possible. On the phase change, go for his hand. After he puts his hands down, he usually starts shooting fire from his stomach. Sometimes he'll shoot fire upwards as eruptions. Sometimes he'll do fire spitting downwards. If you're too nearby, you could get hit by that. So here, I take the opportunity to just go away, put on Golden Bow, and then get back in there. I usually just try to stay in front of the fire giant, avoiding the flame balls that he conjures. I go for his hand when he puts it down. Usually, he'll do a swipe with his right hand, and then a two-hand slam down. That's when I try to get my attack in. Here's a two-hand slam down. Do a roll. Do an Ash of War. Just stay in front of him. So the fire giant's going to die on the next hit. If you don't have it equipped, I do. I have it equipped on my quick down slot. Get ready to consume it once you do the killing blow. Fire giant down. Let's level up. We're putting 1 point into strength, 5 points into faith. Also, I switched out the Star Scourge heirloom for the 2-finger heirloom so we can swap out the faith tier. In our physic, we're going to have the Strength Nut Crystal tier and the Stone Barb Crack tier. You can also either go with the Green Spill tier, which will give you more stamina, or the Opaline tier, which will boost damage negation, or the Spike Crack tier for charged heavies. Let's go ahead and talk to Melina. Head through Crumbling, Fair Missoula. We're going to pick up this Ancient Dragon Prayer Book. This will give us access to Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. Head all the way down to the Godskin Duo fight. Make sure you craft your sleep pots. Equip them. Whenever you have the Stone Barb Crack tier equipped, you always want to drink your physic last. So put the duo to sleep before you put on any buffs. Once they're asleep, put on your buffs. You're going to do Golden Bow, Hellish Abriri, and the Physic Flask last. Now this part will be optional. What I do after I put on Hellish Abriri is I'll switch out the 2-finger heirloom for the Strength Talisman. Again, this is completely optional, but it'll give you 5 more points in strength, which means more damage. So with the duo down, let's consume Morgott's Remembrance and also Rykard's Remembrance. This will give us enough currency to put 5 points into Faith. Now we won't need the Faith tier or the 2-finger heirloom to be able to cast Howl of Shabriri. Continue on until you get to this Stone Sword key fog door. It requires 2 Stone Sword keys. Go up the lift, grab the Grace. Let's head to Radagon's Arena. We're going to do Alexander's quest so we can get our last damage boosting talisman, the Shard of Alexander. Next, let's go to Mount Gelmir. We're going around this mark. It's going to be near the Seathwater Terminus site of Grace. Talk to Alexander there. You need to exhaust his dialogue in both spots. Next, we can head back to Crumbling to the Dragon Temple Lift site of Grace. Continue on through. Talk to Alexander. Have a quick spar with him.
I see you finally made it here yourself.
And now you have the Shard of Alexander. So let's go ahead and equip it. We're going to replace the Gold Scarab with it. So this is going to be our Talisman loadout. Ritual Sword Talisman, Spear Talisman, Shard of Alexander, and the Star Scourge Heirloom. Next, let's head to the round table. We just got the Bell Bearing 4 for smithing stones from the duo fight. So go ahead and buy enough smithing stone 7s and smithing stones 8s so we can upgrade our Greatsword to plus 25. Before we leave, head down the hallway. We're going to pick up D's Bell Bearing, but we're more interested in his armor. This is optional. This is if you want to use D against the Gargoyles, which we'll be facing here in a bit. For now, let's warp to the road to the Manor side of Grace. Head into Caria Manor. Once you head in, make a right. Continue forward until you get to this room. In this room is going to be the Glintstone Craftsman Cookbook 6. That has the freezing pot recipe. Continue on to Loretta. Put on all your buffs. And you're going to see there isn't much to this fight. Continue on. You're going to Ranni's Rise. Talk to Ranni to start her quest. Talk to Celavis. Talk to Iji. Once you're done here, we're going to warp back to Limgrave, to the Fort Height site of Grace. We're going into the hole that Radagon created. For the Mimic fight, make sure you strip yourself of all your weapons, even your Sacred Seal. Once the Mimic tier spawns in, you can go ahead and equip your weapons back for an easy boss fight. We're going to get a larval tier. Let's hang on to it as I may do a new game plus guide for this character. Continue on into the Ancestral Woods. We're going to light all the fires. Once you're done lighting all the fires, go to the Ancestral Woods site of Grace. We now have access to fight the Regal Ancestor Spirit, but before we do that, we're going to head into Nokron. This is going to be southwest, and we're going to be picking up the Black Wet Blade. We don't need it for this run, but it's on the way. And here behind this enemy is the Mimic tier summon. Continue on. Get the Finger Slayer Blade. We're going to warp to the Ancestral Woods side of Grace. Head northeast. Touch the Regal Ancestor Spirit. Go into the fight. And again, you're going to see there isn't much to it. Just watch out for his area of effect fire. Watch for his charges. And watch for his back feet if you're behind him. So with the Regal Ancestor taken care of, we're going to warp back to Ranni's Rise. We're going to talk to Ranni, give her the Fingerslayer Blade. She's going to give us the Carian Inverted Statue. We're going to warp to the Academy. We're going to be heading to this mark. We're going to go there through the Church of Vows. There's a teleporter in the Academy. So warp to Renala's boss room. Go down the lift. Head to the teleporter. Go to the mark we made. Put the statue down. You're going to continue on through the study hall. You're going to go up the lift. Pick up the curse mark of death. Next, we're going to go face the gargoyles. So warp back to the ancestral woods. We're going near this mark. Before we face the gargoyles, however, we're going to switch out our physic. So we're going to keep the strength knot crystal tier in there. We're going to swap out the stone barb crack tier for the green spill crystal tier. Hand over the twinned armor set if you'd like to use D as a summon against the gargoyles. This is completely optional. Once you're ready, walk in, put on your flask, golden bow, howl shabriri, refill your FP, get ready for the gargoyles. Now these are always an annoying fight for me no matter what level I am, so I just try to stay at their feet. This first gargoyle sometimes uses the Ash of War on his weapon, vacuum slice, so just run to the side or dodge to the side if it does that. They both have poison breath that they can do, which they like to spam every once in a while, so watch out for that as well. So let's go ahead and level up. We're going to put 1 point into strength. Continue on to the coffin. This is the route I take before Fia's champs. You can pop these ants for rune arcs and golden runes. They're both important, especially if you're using Morgott's Great Rune. So continue on through. Make sure to grab the grace before Fia's champs. Fia's champs, first two should go down with one giant hunt. For the last set, it's going to be 3. The one you want to watch out for is Lionel. He's the one that spams the death sorceries. And maybe it'll take 2 hits for Rozier to go down. Either way, here comes the trio. Put on Howl Shabriri since it's the shortest lasting buff, and get ready to face them. So let's go ahead and level up. We're going to put 1 point into strength. Next, you're going to talk to Fia. You're going to have to hug her at least 2 or 3 times. You're going to give her the curse mark of death. She gives you a Baldaquin's blessing, so make sure before you go into the fight with Fortissax that you consume Baldaquin's blessing. Wait for the effect to wear off, or warp to the side of grace. Enter the deathbed dream, and face Fortissax. There's another annoying boss. This one has area of effect lightning. Also, whenever she swipes at you, her claws leave lingering lightning when she slams down. There's lightning. There's basically lightning all over the fight, so just watch out for it. Get your attacks in when you can. Roll away when your character starts to shine. That means that the lightning is going to explode on you. So with Fortissax down, let's put 1 point into strength. Next, continue on. We're going to be going after Astel. There's a coffin around that mark that will take you to Angel River Main. Pick up the miniature Ranni and talk to it at the site of grace if you want to continue doing Ranni's quest. I don't do it as it is optional. I just go straight for Astel. With Astel, I put on the Physic, Golden Bow, walk through the boss fog, and then I put on Hellish Abriri last. With Astel, you want to watch out for when it does Nebula. You want to watch out for when it teleports, as sometimes it might go for a grab attack. If you're in front of it, it'll do that pincer attack. It will also do slam down attacks if you're too close to it. When its health gets to a certain threshold, it will also do Meteorite of Astel. So you want to watch out for all those attacks and the laser. So Astel finally goes down. Let's put 3 points into strength. And we're going to be warping back to Crumbling. So let's go to the Dragon Temple Lift site of Grace. Run all the way until you get to this dragon here. This dragon is already injured. Should be able to take it down with 2 or 3 giant hunts. I want to be dropping an ancient dragon smithing stone, which we are going to be using later on in this playthrough. Continue on until you get to the Draconic Tree Sentinel. You want to watch out for the slam downs. You also want to watch out for the red lightning that he casts sometimes. Shouldn't be that difficult of a fight though if you keep the pressure on. Before we continue to Maliketh, let's go back to beside the Great Bridge site of Grace. Let's put 1 point into Strength. Also, we're going to switch out our Physic Flask. We're going to want the Strength tier with the Stone Barb Crack tier. With this Physic combo, make sure not to drink the Physic until you're ready. For me, I tried to drink it at the end of Phase 1. I ended up drinking it at the beginning of Phase 2, which is viable as well. Here, I'll give you a reminder. If you have time, drink the Physic, as the next giant hunt is going to take them into Phase 2. So drink the Physic if you didn't. Walk towards the camera. Roll after he does the swipe. Get a giant hunt in. Critical. Another giant hunt. And that's an easy Phase 2 Maliketh. You'll have plenty of time here, so I suggest using a Gold Pickle Foulfoot for the extra 30% rune acquisition. Next, we'll be going after Gideon, but first, let's go ahead and level up. We're going to be putting 1 point into Vigor and 1 point into Strength. You can also switch out the Stone Barb Crack tier if you'd like for the damage negation tier or the stamina tier. I just kept it in there. Again, once he says the word Lord, that's when you want to start attacking.
What a sad state of affairs. I commend you, but alas.
Gideon goes down. He has such a long monologue that you'll have plenty of time to switch to the Gold Scarab to get the extra 20% in runes. Before Godfrey, let's put 1 point into Vigor, 1 point into Strength. Again, when you're doing your buff routine, drink the Physic last, or drink it at the end of the Godfrey phase, or the beginning of the Horah Loux phase. Godfrey has a Phase 1, Phase 2. Phase 1, you want to watch out for this volcano-looking attack. Just run to the side and you'll be able to run away from it. Watch for his stomps as it leaves an area of effect on the ground. When he's entering into Phase 2, he'll do a slow stomp. That's when you can either attack him or get your buffs in, Physic in, whatever you need to do. So get ready to drink your Physic. Now I missed it, but I wanted to do a giant hunt to send him into the Horah Loux phase. Instead, I did a rolling R1. So for the Horah Loux phase, you want to walk towards the camera and just keep the pressure on. If you're able to get a giant hunt in before the Godfrey phase is over, you should be able to get a stance break on Horah Loux. Since I just did a rolling R1, I wasn't able to build up the stance pressure. So with Horah Loux down, let's go ahead and level up. We're going to put 4 points into Strength. Also, if you've been leveling up with me, I recommend you allocate your flasks so you have at least 5 blue flasks. Again, for Radagon, put on your buffs except for the Physic. You'll want to drink the Physic at the end of Phase 1 or at the beginning of the Elden Beast phase. Radagon's about to go down. Get ready to drink your Physic, put on Halashabriri, and refill your FP if you have to. So for Elden Beast, if you get 4 giant hunts in, you should be able to get a stance break. I was only able to get 3. I got hit by the fire when I was going to do my 4th attack. If you don't get the stance break, he's going to swim away, and more than likely he's going to do the ring. When he does the ring, face away from it. Wait for the ring, jump over it, and keep the pressure on. For Elden stars, if you're nearby, you can get one charged heavy in, and then just run behind Elden Beast. Watch your stamina, and watch Elden Beast, as sometimes you can get a bunch of spamming attacks from it. Down goes Elden Beast, and you did it. That's how you beat Elden Ring with the Greatsword and Giant Hunt. Let's go ahead and level up. You want to put 5 points into Strength. It's going to be the end of this part. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Here's a preview of the conclusion. There's only a few remembrance bosses left, but there's still a little bit more setup we need to do to get the build complete. There's a link in the description for you to join the Discord if you'd like. We have a small community right now, but with your help, we can continue to grow it. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone's support. See you soon. Bye.